Hi divas! If you're unaware, on November 29th, 2024, I had a rhinoplasty. I've obviously gotten a lot of questions about it on YouTube and TikTok. So I was like, you know what? Let me help the homies out. I'm gonna tell you guys everything that I can so that you know what you're in for. First, I wanna start off with the results. So I am 3 months post-op. I'm actually like 15 weeks, so like 3.5 months post-op. You can see there's no bump. If you saw my nose before, you know this is crazy. I was actually just watching my rhinoplasty journey and I was like, oh my God, even from the front, my nose was like botched. Even back then, I was like, I'm okay with the front, like it's just a side, but thank God the front is different. I still have a little bit of swelling left. He said by 3 months, the swelling is like pretty good. 6 months, it'll be like almost completely no swelling, and then 1 year is gonna be like for sure no swelling, fully healed. Let's start at the very beginning. A lot of people have been asking me how I found my surgeon, and honestly, just like social media. I regularly checked YouTube rhinoplasty vlogs, and I would always go to see like who I liked and like what results ate down. And a lot of people specifically went to Clinic Hub, which is the clinic that I went to. And number 2, either to my doctor, Şamil Şahin, or Dr. Yusuf. I was debating between those two, but I felt like Dr. Şamil, which was my doctor, did more natural looking noses. Of course, like he could do the Barbie and whatever, but I know I wanted it to look as natural as possible. So then I think it was on his Instagram, he had a WhatsApp number. So I messaged that number. I said, hey, like I hate my nose. I want a nose job with Dr. Şamil. And they're like, okay, cool, like send us pictures. They were asking me all my information, and they want you to send pictures to make sure that it's something that's doable. They could tell by my pictures that it was doable. So I was like, okay, cool. Now I will say you never get to talk to the doctor until you get to Turkey. I know that sounds crazy, and it is crazy, like genuinely. And honestly, I think that's why social media is so important, because like I was able to see people's experiences and able to know that one, he knows how to do a rhinoplasty, okay? I saw that it was legit. I saw that no one was like sick. There was like no controversy. Literally social media was the only way that I felt comfortable, and that's why I'm also making this video, because like I want people to know that this is legit. This is not a scam. Like they do this, you know, that's what they're known for. And when I sent the pictures afterwards, they were able to quote me. So they quoted me $5,200 USD. When I was quoted in Texas, it was 20,000 USD. So I was like, oh yes, let's go. And I know different doctors are probably cheaper. Like I know some are 3,000, some could be more expensive, like 7,000. Honestly, like money was only like half of my decision. The doctors in Texas, the doctors in like the US were not it compared to the money and the results that I could get, you know? The money and the results did not add up in the US, but the money and the results in Turkey, yes. So they tell you to stay for 7 nights, 8 days. I ended up staying for I think 10 days, which I highly recommend. We flew 13 hours. We landed in Turkey at nighttime, and immediately they picked us up in a shuttle and took me to like the hospital to draw my blood, just to make sure that like my levels were good, I was not sick, things like that. I think regardless of whatever time you land, they're always gonna do like the vials on you. I will say the shuttle's gonna pick up multiple people who are going to the same clinic as you. So if it takes a little bit longer, that's very normal. They're waiting for like maybe another plane to land, or someone else is like waiting for their bag. So if you are not patient, you cannot do this, because we waited a long time for cars to pick us up to and from the airport, the hospital, the hotel. So just have patience, and like it's normal is what I'm trying to say. The reason I'm so happy that I came an extra day is because the next day I was able to have a consultation with the doctor. Usually the next day after you land is your surgery day. So I was able to have a consultation one day and then surgery the next day. And this is helpful because if I ended up not liking him, I could be like, you know what? I'm out, versus like consultation, then oop, going into surgery. No. But even if that was the case, like I loved him so much, I don't think that would have even been a problem. Speaking of the consultation, I had a phenomenal time. First, he was like, okay, let's talk about medical, what he sees. He was like, oh yeah, did you know you have a deviated septum? I said, oh. So he was like, yeah, you have a deviated septum. I will say, I think I can breathe better. I like wasn't expecting to breathe better. I just wanted to like, but that's been a nice addition. But he was so nice, and he was like, okay, tell me like what you want, what you see, what's bothering you. And I told him, I was like, obviously I didn't like the bump on the side of my nose. I felt like the front was like a little bit too wide. You know, I was going into it, and he was like, okay, yes, I agree. Like you hit the points like aesthetically, but I also want to make sure it's medically like okay. So I really appreciated that. And like he was so nice, so patient. He didn't rush me. He wasn't just telling me what to do. As a doctor, as like his bedside manner, made me so comfortable. Let's talk about the day of the surgery. Nothing crazy. I know a lot of people are very scared of anesthesia. I am not. Anesthesia, I fear, is the easiest part of surgery. They put an IV on my hand and then through there they give you like the anesthetic and then they put a gas mask over me. My doctor does speak English, but a lot of the nurses only speak Turkish. So I had my phone on Google Translate being like, what am I supposed to do or whatever. So anesthesia is fine. If you've had surgery before and anesthesia was okay, like you'll be fine. Some people, it's very rare, but I know some people do react wonky to anesthesia, but I don't want that to scare you. But it was like totally fine for me. Nothing, I had no bad reactions. I was like shaking vigorously right after, and that's very normal. It's not like a bad side effect. Super normal. I was like shivering, I was shaking, I was cold. They gave me just like blankets and that went away pretty soon. Then I was like sweating, I was hot. I was like, okay, get this shit off of me. I don't really remember the first few hours. Like I remember my mom was there, she's taking care of me. I think after a few hours, the nurse came to take me to the bathroom. I have a feeling they put a catheter in me, but I'm not really sure. She did take me to go to the bathroom and I was under anesthesia. So the nurse has to like be there with you and like make sure you don't fall. So like if you're not comfortable with a nurse saying you're punani, maybe not, but I think like they're nurses, they've seen worse, you know? But everyone was honestly so nice. I didn't have any problems. They gave me food. Oh, the worst part about it though, in the little like IV, they would give me my antibiotics and my steroids. No, antibiotics and painkillers. That shit hurt so bad. Now, I don't want this to deter you. Like, I would do it again 100 times for this nose, but it does hurt really, really bad. It like feels like a shooting pain, like it sounds so like harsh, but I'm just trying to tell you the reality. It feels like a needle, like just going in your veins, like I don't know, like it. And I was like, not paralyzed, but I was like, I didn't want to move my arm because I was like, it's gonna hurt. And it lasts about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm not gonna lie. It's only twice that they do it, so you should be fine. You are in the hospital for 24 hours, which is unlike the US. In the US, you wake up from anesthesia, bye. Because if there's a complication or something happens, they don't want to be liable. So keep that in mind when you do it here in the US versus in Turkey. And then because of the anesthesia, just as a heads up, you can't eat past 10 p.m. the night before. And they recommend also, if you're over 21, not to drink alcohol for about a month before. So those are doctor recommendations. My recommendation, I know people like to take arnica and bromelain. Do your thing, girl. But I swear to goodness gracious, I had almost like half to a whole pineapple every single day for 4 to 5 days leading up to the surgery. And when I tell you, my swelling and my bruising was so little. I was like waiting for it to get worse and worse because I've seen pictures and like videos of girls who have like really like bruised black eyes and like swollen and lips look like they got filler, and I was like, where's my filler? When is it coming? But I swear, drinking a bunch of water and eating a bunch of pineapple. Eating itself was pretty difficult to do just because like chewing hurted. I would have to chew like so slow, little bites. Even soup low-key was hard because I couldn't like bend my head back, but I also couldn't slurp. So people are like, oh, eat a lot of soup. No, soup was hard to eat for the first few days. I think by day like 3 or 4 I was good, but like day 1 and 2 for sure, it was harder. I'm telling you, like post-op day 1 or like day 1 of surgery is probably the easiest because you don't remember half of it, like you're just on drugs. So that's pretty much it for like day 1. Next day they drove us back to the hotel and I was there just like all day. I think I slept most of the day. A nurse had come in to show me how to change my gauze, how to clean my nose. That part was so scary to me because I was like, is it gonna hurt? It doesn't hurt. When you're in the hospital, they do the cleaning for you, but when you're at the hotel, like you have to do it yourself. But they give you like a bunch of gauzes and Q-tips and cleaning stuff to where you don't have to like bring your own. I did bring my own because just in case I needed extra, and I don't think I ended up using it. I think I ended up using Q-tips. So I would bring extra stuff, but like you don't have to. You can always call them and be like, hey, can you bring me more stuff? Because there's a nurse that comes every day. A post-op doctor also comes in every day. It's not Dr. Şamil Şahin, but it's another doctor who knows what he's doing. And he just takes pictures and makes sure that it's not infected, that the stitches are doing well, things like that. Also, I'm bold AF. So the first day at the hotel is technically post-op day 1. Day 2 post-op, I was like walking around, and not that I couldn't, like I felt good. I was also on painkillers, things like that, but I was exhausted. People are like, yeah, go explore the city, but like for like an hour. I think we were out there for like 4 hours or something and walking around, and I was, girl, I was tired. I was just like not feeling strong. A lot of girls that I saw like doing their turkey rhinoplasty vlogs are like, yeah, after day 2, day 3, like I went out, I explored, I felt great. I explored, I went out, I didn't feel great. I don't recommend it. Like, I wish I would have just relaxed. I am glad that I did go out at some points, but I would really limit it. If you're not shooting content, there's no reason for you to go. But I was shooting content, so I was like, I must go out. Also, because you're taking antibiotics, make sure to bring probiotics or get yogurt from over there. I am lactose intolerant, so I can't really do yogurt, and I forgot to bring probiotics, so I had to go get yogurt, and I think it was dairy free, but I'm not sure. Either way, eat your probiotics or else you're gonna get a yeast infection. Day 3 post-op, I felt fine. Throughout this whole process, there was not really any pain. It was just a shit ton of pressure, so it was like more uncomfortable, and the pain was like 3 or 4 out of 10. And again, it's because it was mostly just uncomfy and like I couldn't sleep well. Oh, that's another thing. I was so exhausted, I think day 2 and 3, because I couldn't sleep. Like I was breathing with my mouth open, and I kept like choking or snoring, and like my mouth was so dry, so dry. So I'd do lozenges, I do throat spray, I drink water, but having to do that like every 2 hours. Also, okay, that's another thing. Every 2 or 3 hours, we were also icing my face, and my poor mom, like God bless her, love you mom, she was waking up every 2 hours with me to ice my face, so that also like we didn't really get enough sleep. So just keep that in mind. That's why I always suggest having someone come with you, because they'll be like able to help you. But anyways, day 3 was fine, just tired. Again, a lot of pressure. Day 4, I definitely felt a lot more energy in the morning. I think that was the first night I had like slept well. We ended up going to the Grand Bazaar, and I was tired. It was fun. I don't regret it. But again, like the going out, I would really limit it, because especially the walking, the socialization, the stimulation of everything, I wasn't feeling the best at the end of the day. My parents were like, you looked really pale, like you didn't look good. And I didn't really feel good, but like I didn't want to say anything. I wanted to be a trooper, you know? And then day 5 post-op finally was the cast removal. I would say the cast removal is the most painful process. Obviously, he takes it off, he has to clean it, and when he cleans it, there's like a lot of pressure. Your nose is obviously sensitive as hell. And then he has to put on another cast, and he like squeezes the little like metal on it, so it hurts. Yeah. I wasn't gonna pass out or anything from the pain, but whoo, I heard like people are close, so just saying. Also, when you get your cast removed, you probably already know this, you're not gonna look good. Sorry. You're swollen everywhere. Your face is swollen, your eyes are swollen, your nose looks weird, it's swollen as hell. Just be prepared, because my cast removal from now, literally a whole different person. The day after he took off my cast is when I flew home, I think. If not the day after, but like it was one of those days. I had no problem flying, like there was no pressure in my nose or anything. I was just sleepy. But I did fly first class, so I like can't complain about anything. So like I said, after 5 days is that first cast removal. 5 days later is the other cast removal, and that one I did myself. Yeah. It wasn't hard, I just had to like wet it and just like rip it off basically. It wasn't super painful, I was just like scared, but it wasn't painful really. After 2 weeks, swelling was still crazy. After a month, my swelling was still like pretty crazy. I was wrapping my nose every day. The one thing that was very interesting, I think for like a month and a half, I couldn't like smile. Like when I was talking, I'd go one, because I felt mostly like I was gonna pop a stitch, or it was like so much like pressure here, like it wasn't bendable yet. Okay, so I want to answer how sneezing was. The first few days I was sneezing crazy. I was sneezing like 100 times a day, and I had to sneeze with my mouth open. So literally the sneezes were like, and it did hurt my throat, so just beware of that. You cannot sneeze out of your nose, like mouth closed, for I think like 2 months or something. So just like warn the people around you, you're gonna be sneezing with your mouth open. Another big one was like how to wash your face while you have your cast on. You cannot get it slightly wet, like you cannot get it wet, because then it's gonna like deform, and that could deform your nose. So I used cotton rounds to like wet my face, put like soap around my face everywhere, and like wiped it off with paper towels. I was really trying not to mess it up, but I struggle with acne, so I was like, I need to like somehow wash my face, do something. Also, I didn't wash my hair for those 5 days, but another girl did, and I was like, how? She was like, oh, it's easy, just like put your head like this, and I was like, Oh, so I was just the only musty, crusty, dusty one. Okay. But again, I would be very, very careful when washing your hair. Again, because you have to like lean back and like do this and make sure no water gets on your nose. So I wasn't even gonna risk it. I didn't even wash my hair. I had some people ask me if like I went with someone or if like they could go alone. I would recommend you go with someone. So I made a friend there who she came alone, and after like one day after her surgery, she called her mom and was like, hey, like, come please. They were from Scotland, so the flight wasn't as long as it would have been if like I called my mom from Texas to come. So she was lucky in the sense, but like, oh. But on the other hand, there was another girl who came alone. She was Russian, so she didn't even speak English, so she was like constantly translating and needed a translator too. But she came alone, she did her thing, she was totally fine. She's, I don't know, Miss Independent. I know I could not be alone. Like, I like to be babied too much and I need to be taken care of, especially when I'm like feeling ill. Also, in my opinion, it was not dangerous at all. I felt very safe. Also, the hotel that they put us at is right next to the train station in case you wanted to travel. And I would recommend if you want to take a taxi, use the hotel concierge to order it for you, just so you're safe. How long post-op did it take for your nasal breathing to feel comfortable? Right after, you can breathe through your nose, but they put like silicone in you, so you can't like really breathe. But after a few weeks, I feel like my nostrils are like sucking up all the air now. There is no more air for the people around me, babe. Oh, another pain point. You have to massage your nose. So you have to like and then squeeze this, and like you have to do that multiple times a day. That also hurts because your nose is so sensitive. So sensitive. I would always do it when I had my wrap on just because it was like easier and like, I don't know. Overall, even now to this day, so it's been 15, I think it's been 15 weeks. My nose, it's still sensitive. Like if I touch it, it doesn't feel like normal. My tip is like so hard. I can't really like, I don't know. I don't want to move it because it's not that it hurts, but it's like very, like I can feel it, you know? Like when I wash my face, I can't like go hard at it. Like I still need to like be very gentle. But I feel like overall I'm back to normal. I would say like for the first 2 months, like I could not do a lot. You're not supposed to work out either, but even cleaning my house was so much. It was very exhausting. So I would just be very mindful, like do not push yourself, okay? You literally just had surgery, okay? You literally just had surgery. Like calm down. You have the rest of your life to fucking clean your room, you know, or do your laundry. That's what I can think of right now in terms of like tips and like what went down in my journey, how I'm feeling now. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below so I can answer them. I'll definitely be making like a 6-month update and a 1-year update. So if you want to know how that goes, let me know. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.